You did not stumble upon this video by accident. And the dream you just experienced was not a coincidence either. Some dreams pass by like faint fragments, evaporating the moment we open our eyes. But there are also dreams that seem to cling to us, leaving traces, leaving aftershocks, forcing us to pause and ask ourselves, why did I see this right now? The very moment you ask that question is when a door has just opened. Because in the quantum field, where all possibilities coexist, there is no such thing as randomness. A dream comes to you at the exact moment you need it, not earlier, not later. It is like a signal sent from another version of you, or from a timeline stream where you have already moved through what you are wrestling with now. It is a quantum message, a note woven from symbols, emotions, and shards of memory that lie beyond ordinary understanding. Recall the last time you woke from a dream with your heart still trembling, your breath quickened, and your mind flooded with questions. That is not merely your brain reacting after a long day. It is contact with another band of frequency. Perhaps it was a repeating number, a door you stepped through, a stranger who looked at you with a familiar gaze. Those details are not meaningless. They are ciphers. And if they remain vivid within you, it means you have received a transmission. In ancient traditions, dreams were believed to be a bridge between the everyday world and the unseen. The Greeks entered temples to sleep, hoping the gods would send a message. Tibetans called dreams the yoga of the soul, where we meet our higher essence. South American shamans saw dreams as the land of souls, a real-world parallel to this one. And in the language of quantum science, it is the interweaving of the present timeline with countless potential timelines. You are not hearing this for entertainment. This is not a video to watch casually and scroll past. This is a transmission, and you are the one chosen to hear it in this very moment. Your mind may still be skeptical, may reason that it's all stress, all illusion, but your soul knows better. Because deep within you, some part has already resonated as you hear these words. So open your heart. Let this story lead you through a journey. Together we will decode why you saw that dream, why it haunts you, and what is truly happening when your consciousness touches the quantum field. Because if a dream made you wake with the feeling, this is not random, then it is a call. And today, you will learn why. You are here not by accident. And the dream you saw was not just a chaotic fragment of the mind. There is a truth many have never realized. Dreams do not arrive without reason. They appear at precise moments, as if placed by an invisible hand, as if the entire universe shifted just to deliver you a message. Have you ever noticed how some dreams come exactly when you are at a crossroads? Or when your heart is unsettled, lost, not knowing how to move forward? They are not coincidences. They are timed signals, quantum signals, that surface at the moment you need them most. Ordinarily, dreams are explained as the brain's spontaneous activity, rearranging scattered memories, unfinished emotions. But deeper than that, there are dreams that are anything but fragmented. They are vivid, structured, dramatic, as if scripted beforehand. And when you awaken, they leave behind a sense that is too real to dismiss. That is the sign. You have just touched a message sent to you, a quantum message designed specifically for you. Imagine, you dream of an unfamiliar road, yet in the dream, every detail is impossibly sharp. You hear footsteps, you feel the wind, you even know you must turn left rather than right. Upon waking, you ask, why did I see this? And that very day, you stand at a crossroads, confused by a decision, when suddenly the dream's image flashes back as guidance. This is not hallucination. This is a quantum message sent from another timeline to guide you. In quantum science, this is known as the observer effect. When billions of possibilities exist in superposition, it is your attention, your consciousness, that collapses them into a single reality. So ask yourself, if you recall a dream so vividly, if it clings and refuses to fade, is it because your consciousness chose that dream out of countless others to hold on to? And why that dream at that exact moment, if not because it contained the message you most needed to move forward? Many make the mistake of believing dreams are random. But if they were random, why do they arrive precisely when you are in turmoil? Why do they appear before a great turning point? And why do you remember them so sharply, while hundreds of other dreams vanish within seconds? The answer is simple. Because that dream was programmed for you to remember. It was designed to linger, to haunt, to demand your attention. Picture yourself lost in a dark forest, no map, no path out. Suddenly, a beam of light flashes, pointing in one direction. You could call it coincidence. But if that light returns again and again, illuminating the same path, you know it is no longer chance. It is guidance. Dreams work the same way. They are beams of light from the quantum field, shining down at the exact moment you need to see. Some ancient cultures understood this long ago. The Greeks believed dreams were messages from the gods, sent when humans were most vulnerable. Indigenous South Americans saw dreams as portals into the dreamscape, where ancestors whispered through symbols. Tibetan masters viewed dreams as yoga, a path of practice where sacred transmissions descend to those ready to receive. Different languages, same conclusion. Dreams are not random. They are sent. And you are the one chosen to receive them. So when a dream jolts you awake with the feeling, why did it come to me now? Understand that you are standing in a larger current. You are connecting with a wave of the quantum field, where messages are broadcast not in human words, but through images, emotions, and intuition. And if you are hearing these words now, if your dream is still alive in your memory, then this is not just a video, not just a story. It is a transmission. Pause and recall the most recent dream that jolted you awake. It did not arrive to confuse you. It came as a quantum signal, a transmission sent from what modern science calls the quantum field. In the world of classical physics, a dream is merely the brain's product, a random replay of memories and experiences. But in the quantum world, everything is different. There, time is not a linear stream from past to future. There, present, past, and future coexist in a state called the eternal now. And within that state, dreams become a channel for data to flow among countless timelines. Imagine your consciousness as an antenna. When you're awake, it's tuned to the frequency of ordinary reality, the timeline you're currently living. But when you sleep, when the brain drops into theta waves, when the waking ego dissolves, that antenna retunes. It is no longer confined to this reality. It scans. It picks up signals from other dimensions, from parallel versions of you. And the moment you see the dream, you aren't merely seeing images. You are actually receiving quantum signals from another timeline, another version of your life. In quantum mechanics, there is a phenomenon called entanglement. Two particles, even if separated by thousands of light years, remain instantly connected. When one changes, the other changes at once. Now imagine, you and your future self, or you in a parallel timeline, are entangled in a similar way. When they experience something, that information can transfer to you through a dream, like two strings tuned to the same note. You and yourself in another world resonate with each other, and that resonance shows up in your mind as a dream. And why that dream? Why not thousands of other image fragments? Because your consciousness is the quantum observer. In sleep, when millions of possibilities exist simultaneously in superposition, your consciousness selects a packet of information that best matches your current vibration, and you remember that dream. It isn't random. It is an observer collapse, the moment your awareness bundles one possibility out of countless others and turns it into a real experience. If you notice, message-bearing dreams rarely arrive on days when you're relaxed, safe, carefree. They appear when you're afraid, confused, or facing a major decision. Why? Because at precisely those moments, the quantum field opens the gate most strongly. The dream is the invisible touch from your future self or from the collective consciousness, sending you a reminder. Stay awake, listen, because this is a destined fork in the road. Picture it like this. You stand before countless paths. Each path is a timeline. In waking life, you can't see clearly. In the dream, a light flashes from one specific path, letting you glimpse a few steps ahead. Not to force your choice, but to hand you a map. To let you know there is a path waiting, and you have the right to walk it or to pass it by. Such a dream is a quantum signal, a signal wrapped in images, symbols, and sensations. It arrives like an email from the universe, but instead of words, it uses symbols. And only those who are ready, whose minds have reached the necessary vibration, can open that email. If you are hearing these words, if you have ever awakened from a dream that was too real and too timely, then remember, you are the one who caught the signal. And that signal is not meant to be forgotten. It is meant to wake you up. There is something intriguing. Almost everyone has at some point experienced a strange dream, but the majority quickly dismiss it. This is the first mistake, treating dreams as tricks of the brain. From childhood, we are taught that dreams are nothing more than byproducts of chaotic memory, of repressed emotions, of a brain reorganizing its data while resting. And so, when a dream appears too real, too haunting, the mind immediately offers a familiar explanation. It must be stress. It must be because I've been overthinking. It must be because I watched a movie before bed. But this is exactly where the truth is often missed. Because those dreams that linger, that you cannot shake off, do not appear at random. The brain does not create something that makes you feel unsettled all day long merely by coincidence. When you wake up and still hear the footsteps from your dream, when you can still feel the touch of a hand or the choking sorrow of a farewell, that is not a simulation. That is a marker, a sign that a message has been embedded within that dream. The second mistake is deliberately forgetting. Many people, when faced with a strange dream, tell themselves, I don't want to remember this. The more I recall it, the more it creeps me out. And so, they let the dream vanish, like vapor rising off a mirror. But what few realize is this. It is precisely the haunting, the feeling of impossible to forget. That is the signal that this is a quantum message. It does not disappear because its task is not yet complete. The dream returns again and again, only because you have not paid enough attention, not yet been ready to decode it. Each time you try to forget, it resurfaces more powerfully, like an invisible hand shaking you awake. The third mistake is mistranslating the language of dreams. We are accustomed to analyzing with linear logic. See fire, think of accident. See water, think of disaster. But dreams do not speak in human language. They speak in the language of symbols, a semiotic realm beyond ordinary logic. A house is not merely a house. It may symbolize your very body, the home of your soul, or a timeline you have yet to enter. Death in a dream is not necessarily an omen of dying. It may instead signify rebirth, the collapse of an old ego to make way for a new self. When you mistranslate, you miss the doorway the dream is opening. And the final mistake, the deepest one, is believing you are unworthy of receiving the message. Many people think only special souls get to experience such dreams. And so, when they encounter an extraordinary dream, they deny it. No, this surely isn't meant for me. But you must know, if the dream came to you, then you are the one chosen. The quantum field does not misdeliver. It does not waste energy sending signals to the wrong place. If you see it, if you remember it, if you are haunted by it, it is because you are ready. The truth hidden behind all these mistakes is this: dreams are never meaningless. Every dream carries a layer of information, and when a dream is too real, too strong, too persistent, that is the sign it carries a message for you. Not a message for humanity, not for someone else, but for you, at this very moment. So take a look back at the dreams that have haunted you. What did you do with them? Did you try to forget, or did you sit down, write out every detail, and ask, what does this dream want me to know? If you have never done this, start now. Because sometimes, just one dream is enough to change the entire course of your life. There comes a moment in life when you wake up from a strange dream and realize it is unlike any other. It does not dissolve when the sun rises. It does not fade as you get caught up in the busyness of daily routines. Instead, it anchors itself in your mind, like an invisible thread tying you to something beyond your understanding. That is the sign that you have just received a quantum message, a communication delivered through a dream. A quantum message is not like a random dream. It does not come to entertain or to replay memories. It arrives as an encoding, a signal transmitted from the quantum field. In the quantum field, information is not limited by time or space. This means that an event can send signals backward, that a future version of yourself can transmit data in reverse, or that a branch of another timeline can touch your present awareness. And the dream is the perfect medium for such transmission, because when you sleep, your mind is no longer confined within linear logic. It opens itself to another language, the language of symbols, of images, of frequencies. Think back. Have you ever dreamed of a scene, a symbol, or a figure that made you wonder, why am I seeing this at this exact moment? That is when the quantum message is at work. It is not random. It was delivered to you like an envelope dropped at your doorstep, precisely when you needed guidance. You could ignore it, dismiss it as a meaningless piece of paper. But you could also open it, study each detail, and realize that it contains directions for the path you are on. Quantum messages often carry strange, hard-to-decipher imagery. This is because human language is insufficient to convey the subtle vibrations of the quantum field. Instead, the message must be encoded into symbols. A door in a dream is not just a door. It could be an opportunity, a milestone, or a passage into another timeline. A bridge is not merely architecture. It is the journey of transition, the crossing beyond an old limitation. A flowing river is not just background scenery. It could symbolize purification or the circulation of energy between different versions of yourself. What matters is this: if you see it, it means you have the resonance to receive it. The quantum field does not scatter messages at random. It only synchronizes with souls that are open, that are ready. the uncanny alignment between dream and waking life, or the unshakable haunting of a small detail in a dream, is the field's way of confirming that you are connected. This is not everyone's dream. This is the dream meant for you, delivered at the exact moment with the exact vibration, so you cannot ignore it. Imagine the dream as a radio frequency. Each night, millions of frequencies are broadcasting. But only when you turn the dial to the right spot does the signal become clear. And the moment you catch a dream that is too vivid, too real, too haunting, that is when you have tuned into the exact channel, broadcasting the quantum message. It is not coincidence. It is entanglement, the quantum entanglement between you and another version of yourself, or between you and a greater collective source of information. That message does not come to frighten you. It comes to awaken you. It comes so that you know you are standing at the threshold of a change. You may ignore it, and life will go on as usual. But if you choose to listen, to write the dream down, to sit still and feel it, you will see clearly that it is not just a nighttime illusion. It is a compass, a quantum map, a signal guiding you onto a new path. One day when you look back, you will realize that the dream you once saw was the turning point. It was not random. It was a quantum message, and you received it at the exact moment your soul needed it most. There is a truth few dare to admit. Not all dreams are the same. Some dreams are vague, dissolving like mist only minutes after you wake. But there are others that cling to you, that you cannot forget, that keep forcing you to ask, why did I see this right now? That is the moment when a quantum message has been sent, and you have become the receiver. The issue is not that the dream arrived, but whether you recognize the special signs within it. One of the first signs of a quantum message lies in its timing. Such dreams usually come not at ordinary moments, but right before a major crossroads in your life. An important decision, an unexpected change, or a phase where you feel confused and lost. As though an invisible hand is arranging it, the message in the dream arrives at the exact moment you need it most. And when you wake, you recognize the distinct feeling. Someone just sent me a signal. The second sign lies in its haunting quality. Random dreams fade quickly, but a quantum message does not. It is like a small flame that smolders continuously, refusing to be dismissed. Sometimes it is only an image, a door, a stream of water, a radiant light. But it keeps returning, as if tapping rhythmically on your mind, demanding your attention. That sense of "it will not go away" is how the quantum field reminds you that you have just touched an important signal. The third sign is the symbolic language. Quantum messages rarely speak in words, because everyday language cannot contain them. Instead, they use symbols: light, bridges, corridors, a mysterious figure, or even a number. These symbols are not meant to confuse, but to open a doorway within you, to make you pause, reflect, and realize you are standing before something beyond logic. When you see such a symbol, and it stays with you, it means your frequency has resonated at the right moment with the quantum field. Another sign is the lingering sensation after waking. With ordinary dreams, you quickly return to your usual rhythm, the emotions fading away. But with a quantum message, the aftertaste remains intact. You may feel your heart still racing, your skin still chilled, or the light from the dream still imprinted in your vision. It is too real to dismiss. It makes you feel as though you just experienced an actual event, only it did not happen in the space you call real life. This persistence is proof that the dream was not fabricated by the brain, but was a signal transmitted through the quantum layer, entering directly into your awareness. Finally, there is the most important marker: synchronicity with reality. Many people recount that after dreaming, they encounter in waking life details that match so eerily it gives them chills. A meeting, a phrase spoken, or a scene identical to the dream. This is not coincidence. It is proof that the dream does not only speak, it also leads. It opens a chain of synchronicities, synchronized events, reminding you that the quantum message is still being delivered. You are not just seeing the dream, you are living it. All these signs together point to an undeniable truth. If you have ever had a dream that arrived at the perfect moment, that haunted you, that carried powerful symbols, that lingered after waking, and that strangely matched reality, then you have received a quantum message. You do not need to force yourself to explain it with logic. You only need to acknowledge that it came, that it was sent to you, and that it carries guidance you cannot ignore. Because once the quantum field has opened a channel, the only reason is that you are ready to receive. There is one point many people overlook when speaking about extraordinary dreams. They do not come solely from within your mind. They are not merely reflections of fragmented memories or daily worries. Dreams that carry a quantum message often have deeper origins. They are the intersection of two streams, your very own future self and the collective field of all humanity. And when you lie down, when the defenses of reason grow quiet, that is when this channel opens. Picture it this way. There is another version of you, not in some faraway future, but existing in parallel right now. That version has already passed through all the turns, has overcome the limits you are still entangled in, and is living in greater clarity. This future self is not bound by linear time. It exists in the now of the quantum field, where past, present, and future coexist. When you dream, your future self can send back to you memories, sensations, or guidance. Sometimes it appears as a vivid image. Sometimes it is only an invisible urging that wakes you with a racing heart, knowing that something has just touched you. Alongside this, there is a larger field surrounding you. The collective field, the informational matrix woven by humanity across thousands of years of experience, memory, and shared unconsciousness. When you dream, your awareness is no longer confined to the small box called individual. It expands, it intersects, and at times it catches frequencies resonating through the collective. This is why many strangers can dream of the same scene or feel the same warning before an event occurs. That is not coincidence. That is the collective field broadcasting, and the more sensitive souls have tuned in. When these two sources meet, future self and the collective field, the dream becomes a channel of special power. It is not only a personal message for you, but also a connection to the entire web of consciousness. Your future self affirms that you can go further, that you can step into the timeline ripe for the maturation of your soul. The collective field amplifies this message, letting you realize you are not alone, that you are part of a greater current. The moment you wake from such a dream, you may feel the vibration clearly within your body. It is like an echo from somewhere distant yet familiar. You know it does not come from imagination. It feels like a memory, a fragment of another life slipping into your present awareness. And that undeniable recognition is proof that you have just been marked by your future self. It is a sign you have entered a point of no return where your timeline is gradually merging with a higher version. This also explains why not everyone has such dreams. For the future self and collective field to transmit signals, your consciousness must be sensitive enough, synchronized enough, open enough. It is like a radio. Only when tuned to the right frequency can you catch the music being played. Souls that have passed through enough lessons, that have melted away layers of resistance, often become transparent channels to receive such transmissions. And when they receive them, it is not only for themselves, but also for others, for the collective in need of more light. Remember, your future self does not send signals to frighten you. The collective field does not broadcast to confuse you. The sole purpose of these dreams is to awaken you, to remind you that you are part of something larger, that you are not trapped in a single identity, in a single story. You are a multidimensional being, being guided toward a greater and more complete version of yourself. And when you understand this, every vivid dream, every haunting that lingers, every strange symbol becomes a map. A map not only guiding you, but guiding the river of consciousness you belong to. Each time you take a step following that signal, you move not only toward your future self, but also help the collective field shine brighter, clearer, easier to tune into for those who come after. That is the pinnacle of this experience. Realizing that the dream is not only your message, but also the bridge linking you with your very future, and with the entire community of souls awakening together. There is a truth most people overlook. Dreams are not just meant to be remembered or retold. A dream is a transmission, and if it comes to you, it means you have been chosen to receive it. But a message, even one from the quantum field, becomes meaningless if you do nothing with it. Your future self may send signals constantly. The collective field may weave waves around you. But all of it turns into empty echoes if you let it vanish into the morning mist. Practice is the key that turns the dream into a doorway, instead of just a fleeting image. When you wake from a dream that carries a haunting, vivid, or unusual vibration, the first thing to do is to hold on to it. Do not let the brain hastily cover it with the dust of daily life. Open your eyes, take a deep breath, and write it down immediately. Not only the visual details, but more importantly, the feeling you carry. Because images may distort, but emotion is the root frequency. That is the frequency the quantum message uses to lock waves with you. Recording it does more than help you remember. It transforms the dream into a tangible object in waking life, an energetic marker you can return to at any time. After that, ask yourself one simple but powerful question. If this is a message, what does it want me to know? Do not look for the answer through logic. Logic only confines you to the old frame. Let intuition, feeling, and inner silence respond. Sometimes it will not come immediately. Sometimes you only receive a vague fragment. But if you are honest with that question, the rest will reveal itself in unexpected ways. It may appear as a casual conversation, an article showing up before your eyes, a synchronicity that makes you shiver. That is how the quantum field continues the rest of the message the dream began. Once you have a clue, the next step is to embody, the act of becoming the energy the dream carried. If in the dream you saw yourself stronger, try to walk through the day with that strength. If in the dream you saw a radiant door opening, carry the feeling of I am stepping through in every small action. This is not acting. This is choosing the timeline by synchronizing frequency. The quantum field does not respond to vague wishing. It responds to the state you embody, to the presence you radiate. Every small action, your words, your gaze, your decisions, when infused with the new energy, reshapes your reality. Another practice is to expand your attention after the dream. In the days following a quantum message, synchronicities often grow denser. You may overhear someone saying the exact words from your dream. You may meet a stranger who feels strangely familiar. You may see a symbol, a number, an image, a sound, repeating, as if projected from the dream into the waking world. Observe these not with passive surprise, but as though you are reading the continuation of a letter left unfinished. This is the extension of the transmission. Ignore them, and you miss half the story. Then, create a simple ritual for yourself. Before sleeping, close your eyes and whisper, "I am ready to receive the transmission." This is not a magic spell, but a signal sent to your future self and the collective field that you are prepared. The dream will no longer feel random. It will become clearer, more ordered, and easier to recall when you open yourself to receiving. It is like tuning a radio. Once you turn the dial to the right frequency, the music sharpens. Finally, remember that receiving is not the end. It is only the beginning. A quantum message does not come for you to store in a journal, but for you to live differently. It might be a small change in habit. It might be the courage to make a big decision. It might simply be the way you look at yourself with greater kindness. But whatever it is, the message always comes with action. If you do not move, the transmission fades into an echo. But if you take a step, even the smallest step, the timeline begins to collapse and restructure around you. Dreams never arrive to frighten you. They come to guide you. And practice is how you turn that guidance into reality. So the next time you wake from a dream that leaves your heart still trembling, know that it is a quantum message, and you have a choice. To dismiss it, or to let it become the key that unlocks the doorway you have been seeking all along. If you have stayed with me until now, understand this. The dream you saw was not random. It was not a whimsical product of the brain, nor a meaningless game of imagination. It was a quantum message, a transmission sent to you at the exact moment you needed it most. And the fact that you are here, listening to these words, is the very proof that you are ready to receive it. Perhaps you have woken up with a strange feeling, your heart racing, a vivid image still imprinted deep in your mind, or a detail that haunted you all day long. Do not dismiss it. Do not rush to think it was just a dream, because if it was so real that it haunted you, then it has touched a deeper layer of your consciousness. That is a calling, not a coincidence. In the quantum field, there are no coincidences. There are infinite possibilities, infinite timelines. And every time you dream of something strong enough, vivid enough, it means you have tuned into a signal from within that ocean of possibilities. It is like a lighthouse in the darkness, shining directly toward your soul, reminding you, awaken. This is the path. You may be standing at the threshold of a decision. You may be facing a crisis. Or simply, you may feel lost, uncertain of who you really are. And it is in that very moment that the dream comes. It does not arrive to frighten you. It comes to show you a deeper truth, that you are not alone, that there is another version of you in another timeline who already knows the answer and is sending you signals to guide your way. So instead of trying to forget, step into the dialogue. Write down the dream, hold on to the symbols, the feelings, the fragments of memory. Listen to them as though they are sentences in a letter from yourself, but from a higher, clearer, steadier self. When you do that, you are not merely recalling the dream. You are building the bridge where your consciousness and the quantum field meet in waking life. And now, I want to ask you, have you ever had such a dream? A dream that made you wake up knowing for certain that your life would never be the same again? If so, share it. Not just to tell a story, but because when you write it down, when you speak it aloud, you strengthen your connection with the quantum field. You send a signal back, declaring that you are ready to step into a new frequency. Take this as the final transmission. A reminder that the dream does not only happen in the night, it continues to echo in every choice, every step you take. And if you listen closely enough, you will realize that dream is not only about the past or the present. It is about you, calling you from a higher timeline, so you do not forget who you are and who you are becoming. You are seeing this video not by accident. This is the signal. This is the calling. The only question left is, are you ready to walk through the doorway that dream has opened for you?